All right, so let's say you got a bunch of these images you've generated. Like I'm using, I have a likeness of myself. If I drop this in here, you can see it generates. Yeah, sure. Pretty random stuff. Sometimes me. So I've generated a whole bunch of self-portraits. I've got all these self-portraits here. And if I want to rework one of these, let's say I like the look of one of them and I want to keep pushing my likeness. I first need to figure out what my prompt was. I don't even remember anymore. I just generate these kind of with a bunch of random prompts. Not random, but they're all kind of different. So I'm using Automatic 1111 web interface here as my front end for Stable Diffusion. I go to the PNG info tab, and I'm going to drop my image that I want to work on right on there. And it's going to inspect it, and it's going to tell me all about it, right? All the settings that were used to generate it. But more importantly, I can shove it, and I can send it to, to any of the other panels, essentially, text to image, image to image, in paint, extras. So in this case, I'm going to send it to image, because I want to create other variations of it. So I hit generate. I get exactly the same image, but kind of more heavily processed, more heavily burned, potentially, depending on the denoising strength here. So if you're using image to image, there's two things. There's more, but there's two real important things. One is this denoising strength, which is the amount to change it. So 0 is no change, 1 is complete, like change it a lot, whatever. See, changes it a lot. The problem is that when you're using the same seed, you're going to get exactly the same thing over and over and over again, because it also imports the seed that was used to generate that image. So you hit this little die here, or type -1 to try to clear it out. And now when I hit generate, I should get different things each time. Again, at 1, that change is potentially huge. If you even go down as low as something like 0.5, you don't have to go to 0. Even down around 0.5, it's very related with only small changes. As you can see, it's mostly the same image with very subtle changes. The eye, little bits, just little bits. So this might be fine if I mostly like the flatness and I like kind of where it is, and I just want it to kind of give me small bumps, staying in line with my likeness. And then I can play with this value depending on how much I want it to change each time. I find useful values usually somewhere between 0.5, maybe 0.8, like on the outside, but I often am around like 0.6 or 0.7 for a lot of these images. You can also modify the prompt. You can also change the number of sampling steps or the CFG scale, depending on what it is you're trying to achieve. And I also could just use inpaint if I wanted to target something really specific. If I wasn't happy with just the eyes or just the mouth, inpaint will let me change very, very specific things. So I'll generate a bunch like this, and I'll try to get something that is related. And that's really what I'm looking for, is something that is related but has like maybe a little bit more of my likeness. Because I like the style, I like the side view, I like how flat and 2D it is. I probably should just crank up my batch count, let it spit out maybe like 10 of these rather than just one at a time. I like that one. So I want to go figure out where these are. Rather than navigate to it, I'm just going to hit this folder. There we go. It just did all of these, and it gave me that at the end. So my personal process here is I've got all these random images, and I'm deciding I'm working on this one. So I'm going to strip this little weird name off the front here, because it came out of one of those where I was looking through like 2,000 images. You can see the number's 1,812. Strip that off. And this last part here, this is the seed, which is like the image's serial number. You really need to hang on to that. So I usually take this seed and use it as the folder name. It's just my own system here. Come up with a system. Whatever your system is, come up with a system. I'm going to drop this in here. Boop. And now I've got that image and I'm spinning it off using image to image. So in here I'm going to make another folder. Oops. I'm going to make another folder. Image to image. And I'm going to take this one that I like and I'm going to drop that in there. So now I've got the thing that I started with, and then I imaged it to come up with a variant. And now I want to work on this variant. So I can drop this right back in, and I can hit generate, and I can start creating variants of that. Because maybe I like the direction this is going. I want to like just push in that direction. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I like where these are going. They feel self-portrait-y and they're kind of like quirky, weird. Just trying out some different styles. It's not going too far afield, right? It's mostly the same kind of composition, placement of elements, but it's reworking the face in a bunch of different ways. So this is in a roughly good gear for me right here. And then, so, you know, maybe I'm not like in love with any of the things that it's doing here. They're all fine. Maybe what I really want though is I want this image, but I want to just mess with the eye. The eye's a little off. I kind of like all the other parts, I think. The neckline's cool. The hair's alright. Doesn't have any of those like glitch things going on. Right? The eye just looks a little glitchy to me. Especially up here. Like, is that eyebrow or is that glasses? It's not clear. So I'm gonna switch over to inpaint. And it's gonna, and I can actually send it straight from here. I can't. No, I have to load this image. I could have sent it when it was in there. But now that I've got it in here, I'm just going to go to inpaint and I'm going to drag and drop. Well, that got so, why is that so huge? Oh my God. It's massive. How big are these? Weird, it's 512. I'm going to go back to the PNG info tab and use this to send it to inpaint. Yeah, it's just showing it all giant. Yeah, it's super weird. It's never done that before. Huh. Just like reboot this thing maybe. Send to inpaint. Yeah, it's just showing it giant. It wants to show it giant. I have no idea why it's doing it like that. It's super weird. Alright, so I'm gonna have it rework this whole area here. The like giant eyebrow glasses thing, plus the glasses and the eye, this whole area here. Cool. And I'm going to have to clear the seed again. The denoising strength was 0.6, I guess. That sounds good to me. Generate. And it should just work on that section, right? Everything else should be untouched. The rest of the face should remain exactly as is, but it's going to rework the eyes. That whole area that I've masked out, it's just going to work on that. I'm keeping the prompt the same. Sometimes this is when I might modify the prompt when I'm working on such a specific area. Sometimes I'll swap the prompt out just to push on a particular element. I could switch which embedding I'm using, etc. But I also just sometimes like to pound through here and just see what kinds of crazy things it's going to try. Huh. Jam 2 in there. But see, I like it with the 1. I like the weird Egyptian eye. I just want you to not... Why you guys see? It wants that stupid eyebrow. It just wants it. Sometimes it won't let go of certain ideas or certain things that just it gets fixated on. These are black boxes we're messing with, so it's never totally clear exactly what's causing it. See, I kind of got rid of it there, but it really just like opened up the glasses. There's a ghost in my eye. And it doesn't, I mean, it's sort of doing it, but I don't know. I need to adjust something. It's not going in the direction I want fast enough. So, yeah, that makes it more like it, right? Stand too much in that lane. Crank this up. Maybe bring this up to like 0.7. Generate. And sometimes, I don't know, you just don't. Sometimes I get lucky, and sometimes you don't. It really is just, really are just rolling the dice. That's more interesting, but that's more like a legit illustration. Like he's looking straight ahead there. So I might just keep that. I'm going to create an in-paint folder in here because I'm in-painting that image to achieve this one. Pop. Then I'll hit generate again. I'll just crank out a couple more. Because you never know when you might get lucky and love the thing that comes around. Huh. Yeah, I don't know. It loses something for me with the two eyes. It just becomes, oh, it's funny though. He's got the little eyebrows. It kind of matches the rest of the style, doesn't it? Oof. Okay. I don't know. I try not to keep too many of these. You gotta be careful. Generate stuff. Start getting attached. Oh, look, it's going real crazy with the eyes there. Oh, boy. Yeah, I don't know. It's not really heading anywhere that I care about. It did a couple of interesting things. It came off of that. So we started here. And then I got that. And from that, I pushed on it and got that and got that. And then this last one, there's like a little glitch there. Ooh, in the nose. Oh, God. This one's not glitchy as much. That's really glitchy. So if I really was in love with this, I think I would have to inpaint here and here. I'm just not impressed with it though. It's like I don't care enough about it. This one's cute. It's fine. If it had created one more good spin-off I like, I would keep that. Once again, with a 2, right? It's the 2 that seemed to resolve well. It has a hard time resolving that 1. It just turns into a big, weird, crazy spiral. Yeah, they're less and less interesting sometimes to me the more I click. Whoa. Okay, I got a prosthetic nose. Strange. It's puppy dog eyes. See that? That's still the one eye kind of vibe. It's not too glitched out, right? Yeah, I'll keep that one also. I got that way I got one with one big eye and one with 2 smaller eyes. Kind of like that Cyclops vibe. And I could keep pushing on it, obviously. I could put this back through, either through image to image or in paint, or any of these other modes that I haven't had time to mess with. But even this is close enough that you get these pretty decent likenesses. Another example here, this is a Muppet that, it's in the ballpark. It's not me. So image to image, and I get, and then, oh, hey, but what's that thing? The weird leaf coming out of his head stuff. I don't want that. So I run it again, and I get the British flag. Oh, that's in the wrong folder. Then I put it here, and I did not spin this guy off of that. I spun this guy. He's in the wrong place. It makes it look like he's inherited from this, but he's totally not. He's inherited from that. There we go. This guy is an in paint from this. Yeah, it was to get rid of the leaf stuff. This is an perfect example of why in-paint is really helpful. So I got this. There's like this weird white spot on the inside of his eye here. There's this leaf. There's this leaf. And there's that red thing in his beard. And I got rid of each of them kind of in turn using in-paint. And you can see the in-paint wasn't quite good at getting up against his cheek there. Left like a little black spot here and here. I could probably work on that longer. Yeah. but you can use it to kind of just clean up the parts of the image you need to work on. Yeah. Yep. And I like it. I think it's a great little process. It lets me kind of do these odd self-portraits, but recognize that like I shouldn't expect the great thing right out of the box. I think a big mistake I see a lot is people want these systems to spit out like the perfect thing right from the start, and I think that that's a bad expectation. I think that's a misuse of the system. It's a misunderstanding of how these things work, and it's not properly respecting their contribution. These systems are a lot more creative than that. I wouldn't have known to ask for any of these weird things, but I like quite a few of them. So I think it's important to remember to browse and kind of let the system show you what it's capable of, and then to learn how to kind of like push it back through so that you can continue to push it in a direction and get it going somewhere. You need to make sure and keep working with the same prompt, and if you're trying to do a likeness, you'll need either a full model or even just an embedding, so that you can teach the system how to draw things it naturally doesn't know. It doesn't naturally know how to draw my face, so I taught it my face. And you can teach it an awful lot of things. These embeddings are very lightweight, and they're awfully fun to play with. So yeah, I'm going to be at it for a while probably.